It's got great reviews. I just feel like I should read it, and I do not for a second regret it. It's my new favorite book, 100%. And so so my favorite book is The Hunger Games. Okay, I know I'm stuck in 2016. It's my favorite book series. It's my favorite movie series. It was my favorite book series. This is my new favorite book. Okay, you can say my favorite book series. This is my favorite book. The Hunger Games was my favorite book ever. And Daisy Jones and the Six has dropped it after many years at the top of my list. I didn't think the day would come. I did not think anything could ever beat The Hunger Games but Daisy Jones and the Six, and it's completely different. Like it's not even like it's got any sort of sci-fi in it or action, but just please read it. It is incredible, and it's just so incredibly easy to read. Like it got me into reading, and it was kind of nice to not read something that was so just about romance, you know. It was not, you know, it's got that subplot of romance, but it's not strictly about romance. And though, don't get me wrong, I'm obsessed with that, it was just like nice to read something different. I just fell in love with the way that she writes books. I think I really like it, and so I really want to read some of her other stuff. I think she wrote The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I have been eyeing for a while but haven't read yet, so let me know if I should read that. It was just incredible, and like look at this cover, like it's just it's a beautiful book. Like look at it. I would not be, there's no shame in carrying this book around, you know. Sometimes like an extra 10 minutes or something, and so there's a bookstore like pretty much directly across from where I work, and so sorry, I thought my tapestry was just on fire. There's a bookstore right near where I work, and so I went in there on my break and I picked up this book, and I looked at it, and I just thought it was really pretty, so it was very intriguing to me, and the title, everything about it drew me in, and obviously it sold me. But I read the blurb and I just like skim read it, and something in my brain was like, yes, you need to buy this, and I looked at the price and it was like $30 or more, and I was like, that's a lot of money for a book. Oh well, I'm gonna buy it. I literally don't know why. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Anyway, it's not. I've only read a little bit of it because honestly, I got a bit bored. So this book was like $30. Kind of boring. Daisy Jones and the Six, $12. Intriguing, wonderful, spectacular. The best book I've ever read. So, you know, all good things in life are cheap. That's a joke. Well, not entirely. Anyway, I might read you the blurb. Maybe you will laugh at me and think, how did you get fooled by this? But I still want to read it. I still think it's going to be a good book. I think it's going to be a good book. I hope it's a good book. I have high hopes. I will read it. I'm just engrossed in another book right now. It happens to me. Every book that I pick up, I often put it down and then find another book, and then I might finish that other book, but I probably won't. Okay, I'm going to read you the blurb. Wish me luck. Okay, it says, Thora and Santi have met before under the clock tower in central Cologne, with nothing but the stars above and their futures ahead. They will meet again. They don't know it yet, but they'll meet again in numerous lives. They'll become friends, colleagues, lovers, enemies, meeting over and over for the first time, every time each coming to know every version of the other. Only they can make sure it's not for the last time, but as they're endlessly drawn together and the lines between their different lives begin to blur, they are faced with one question: why? They must discover the truth of their strange attachment before this and all their lives are lost forever. I don't know, something about it was intriguing. I picked it up, I bought it, and I haven't read it. But at least it's a pretty book. Okay, it's a pretty book. It's a pretty book. That's all I have to say about this book. Okay, let's move on. Two more books to go, two more books. Oh, why am I getting tired? I'm putting myself to sleep. This tea is absolutely delicious. Okay, this book is the book that I'm currently reading, and I'm really engrossed in it, and I really, really like it. It's called The have so far really, really enjoyed this book. I'm gonna read you the blurb. So it says, between life and death there is a library, she said, and within that library the shelves go on forever. Every book provides a chance to try another life you could have lived, to see how things would be if you had made other choices. Would you have done anything differently if you had the chance to undo your regrets? Isn't, like, I like, from the moment the person was giving the review and was talking about it, I had no idea about this book. I was like, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like, I've always, whenever I'm at the shops, I like see it and I'm like, oh my god, I want to buy it, but I don't think I'll like it. And I finally picked it up after reading Daisy Jones and the Six. I'm like on this little wave of non-romantic books, or with a subplot of romance. I was like, I may as well just keep riding the wave and jump on this book, and so far I'm really enjoying it. But so much in